Mhm.
Let's see if we are actually live. I think we are. And let's see the first comment that we got. Thank you for coming, Carol. It is the Saturday morning chat.
Hi, Carol. Excuse me.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. The people who are here, thank you so much for waiting. I see there are, 15 people. Yay! Thank you for coming, people. And welcome to my channel. I am fresh and new on YouTube, but I've been around for a while. So we've met with you, Kateri, about a couple of years ago through our people we know, mainly Christina, I think, with MCM Arts, right?
Mhm.
That's our person. And then we both use Deep Light watercolors.
Yep, that's true.
It's another connection. And we finally get to sit down and chat.
We also have the same fountain pen that we both adore.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a big part of it.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
That will be the I guess the middle of the conversation where we both get to show it. So
Mhm. Yeah.
how are you today?
I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day. We got up pretty early and already went to our local Starbucks, which is I live in a really small town, but I have a Starbucks like 3/4 of a mile from my house. And it's a really nice big one. And we went there and used their good Wi-Fi and did our work and home. And yeah, just looking forward to hanging out and talking about things we love.
Yeah, and it's almost 12 for you, which
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
almost afternoon. For me it is still 8 a.m. 8:33.
Yeah. Yeah. How are you?
Good. I was hoping to be a little bit more chipper this morning because, as I was telling you, I do these from time to time, either on my channel or my friend's channel. She's so gracious to invite me over. I'm talking about Alexandra's Art Insanity. So, if
Mhm.
anyone knows her, she has an incredible story of how she went into art and fountain pens, recovering from cancer.
Mhm.
And so how we kind of guided her and helped her, just it's our therapy that we all need, but for her also help her write again and just function,
Yeah.
which is so much needed. And so we met. Hello, Kim.
Hi, Kim.
We
Mhm.
met, we started a thing together, and we still do a thing together, and I also do this on the side.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I have a similar story. I came to art the same way through a really difficult time in my life where I was suddenly alone and had just recovered from cancer and divorced, and all and my both of my kids left flying the nest, and I was suddenly alone with nothing to do except for my $8 an hour job, and that's how I started to fill my time, and it healed me so and changed my life. Yeah.
For me, it was like, the long story, and if it's too long, I'm sorry. It's like, should I tell the whole thing? So the whole thing is that I came to the US about 6 years ago, right before COVID. So my husband and I were long distance dating for a while, and we met when I was in San Francisco for a prolonged period of time, and just decided to give it a go. Um, Back and forth from Europe to here, decided to settle. The rest, it was 2020. Anyhow, I started this because isolation,
Mhm.
because I needed friends. Frankly, as a new person on the block, it was a little hard. And what I did before my international affairs education, I actually got an art education.
Mhm.
And that was something that I did not pursue because everyone tells you will never, be able to earn money. Why
Yeah.
would you do it? But I think at that point, everyone was stressed. It was 2020. And just personally, I was burned out. I did a lot of jobs in finance, a lot of jobs I didn't like. And I came back to art. I came out back to watercolors specifically,
Mhm,
and I started making them because I couldn't find type of paint that I used to use and remember how pigmented, how well done it was when I was in art school 20 years ago.
mhm, mhm,
As a very young person, I also tended to use older paints because it was more affordable back then.
mhm,
And so that led me to Christina because I realized people actually make their paint. And then I started making my own because I have some education. I understand the binders, how they work. And
mhm,
I came up with my own recipe.
mm,
And so I started making. I also do ceramics, and that turned into a super tiny art business for me. But mainly because I wanted, those supplies to be covered for myself because it's not that cheap to make paint.
yeah, that's true.
Your mom made it. Hello.
Oh, hi, mom. Mhm.
We were wondering if we should upload this so you don't miss this conversation, but you made it. We're happy. Thank you.
Mhm.
So yeah, and that's kind of my life story, and got me out of depression, I would say too. I think that's the thing about art.
I've noticed it again and again being a teacher now for over a decade that, I've seen people's lives just change and improve from bringing an art practice in, and it doesn't have to be anything fancy or a very famous quote by one of my students is, at a workshop she attended of mine, she raised her hand and she goes, "I really wanna paint, but I don't want to learn how."
Mm.
And that's you really don't need to learn how, you just have to sit down and do it, right?
Watch.
There's something very therapeutic about just watching paint on paper with water. It's that simple. So I've seen so many people who would say that their life has greatly improved by adding a creative practice, the simplest of creative practices. So we're in a good business.
Yeah, I think so. And I think the amount of people that have told me, especially in the pen world, if anyone is here,
Mhm,
especially in the pen world, I feel like whenever it's mentioned what I do and they like it and, they're visually attracted to things, but they're like, I don't paint.
yeah.
I'm not an artist, but everyone is, to me, I think everyone is. And sorry, I'm grabbing my coffee here. And I think that's just, it leads you somewhere, as you said, the moment you start swatching, it might lead you somewhere. You're going to swatch one time, two times, you're going to do it for a month, and then you will start painting.
Yeah, and and it's really that simple, and I feel the same about drawing, whether we draw with a pencil or a fountain pen. We just have to put the pen down and start to make marks and notice where they lead us, and we can do that by looking really closely. We can draw our hand just by following what we see and just marking it down, and it might not look exactly like our hand, but I guarantee you if you spend a half an hour doing that with a beautiful pen or pencil, you're gonna feel good.
Mm.
It doesn't matter what the result is. What matters is the process and the moment that you actually make contact with your tools and spend that time just paying attention, noticing. Good
And
stuff.
that's why I like sketching outside. And I
Mhm,
have this practice, and I'll be the first one to admit I love doing it. When I used to do it every day, it was great.
mhm,
Um, when you slip up, it takes a while, just like, I don't know, exercising to get back up to the speed. But what I did, I would time myself and give myself 5 to 10 minutes, not more, to sketch whatever is in front of me.
mhm. That's right.
And it's scary at first. And then you understand, you get better.
Mhm. You do, you naturally the more we do something, of course, but there are ways, to sit down and approach drawing that aren't as, um Hi, Janet.
Hello, nice to meet you too. We do. I think we do share that.
But there are ways to approach it that are not intimidating, I mean, it's just, we have to let go of our expectations and be more mindful of just the process, and the exploration of it. So, Yeah, I think I'm a big evangelist. If I'm an evangelist of anything, it's of just starting and trying it, you know? Yeah.
And I think we've had this conversation, so many people, some of them are artists with degrees from various institutions. And I would say a lot of a lot of them would be the first ones to agree that sure, the degree was something important for them personally, but you don't really need that. And I think that's what stops so many people from just, you know, they think they're gonna need to produce something like Rembrandt or,
Mhm.
whoever, one of the greats, right?
Yeah.
That's what you think when you think art, but it's not true.
No. No, I didn't go to school for art, so I'm self-taught. I didn't start until I was, in my mid-40s. So now I'm in my 60s, so I've been doing it a while now, but yeah.
I did a couple of years of art school, and I remember I didn't do any art for a really long time. I worked for an airport.
Mhm.
I worked for the airport. That was one of my first big jobs, and it was my career for 5 years in various positions. And so I remember meeting my art teacher randomly.
Mhm.
She was waiting for someone to arrive, and so she came up to me and she's like, "Well, are you still doing art?" Because I remember how she was very hopeful that I would go on and do
Mhm.
things, as teachers are. They love us. I'd like to think so. And I thought, she's going to be disappointed in me because I honestly know.
Mhm.
And I was surprised when she just took my hand. And she's like, "That's okay. You'll come back to it."
Mhm.
It's, waves of it. You come back to it. There are situations in your life when you grab onto it. And
Mhm.
I think she was right.
And I think with many creative things we do, it's like that. For me, it's writing. I my whole life, that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a writer, and I Hi, Sue.
Hi.
Um, when I started painting and, by this crazy stroke of luck, within a year, I was having a professional exhibition. I mean, it was very unusual what happened to me. But because it was so all or nothing for me, I didn't have any idea what I was doing. I had to let writing go. I couldn't do both at the same time. It was kind of an all or nothing thing for me. And now, a decade and a half later, I'm finally writing again. And it's like welcoming back an old friend. And it took a while to get back into it. And now I'm in the rhythm of it and writing all the time. But it's like that with anything, even cooking, gardening, making music, exercising, all of the things we do, um, we can let them go for a while and step right back in. And art is definitely like that. I know a lot of people who have, or are really good about having a practice for like a month or two, and then something happens in life and they can't do it, and they feel like all is lost.
Hmm.
I'm sure you've come across that as well, and it's just not true. We can jump back in at any time.
Feel like especially with so I had surgery earlier in the year, and it was a very hard time for me because I couldn't lift more than specific amount of weight.
Mhm.
Anything about molding paint is a lot of pressure when you do it. I also have to lift like big bags of clay, which is like
Mhm.
5 pounds, and I couldn't do that for a while too. And our friend Christina was going through some surgeries herself as well back in the day, and it's just like when you stop that, it's a kind of hard to get in there because you have that weird blame. You're
Mhm.
blaming yourself for stopping it in the first place.
Yeah, yeah. That's life, though. We get sidetracked. We get sidetracked all the time by many, many different kinds of things, some really serious, some not as serious, but, um, there's always the invitation that we have to give ourselves to jump back in, you know? We may not be as good at it as we were, when we stopped, but it only takes so long, and we find new pathways, right?
Yeah.
It's change, yeah, it's just a beautiful thing.
And I think It's a little different for you since you're actually right. For me, I only do my journaling, which has
Mhm,
been amazing.
mhm,
Something that I stopped doing. I was taught to do it by my mom when I was a kid, and I stopped doing it around the age of 17. And now I came back to it together with watercolor painting, I guess about a year after I started making my paint.
mhm.
I realized I needed even more. So this is when I came back to journaling.
Okay.
But before that, and the way I connect fountain pens or I connect with fountain pens is through art
Yeah.
because I use it
Right.
for art practices more than for writing.
Mhm. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. So what is your favorite pen to draw with? Do you draw with only fountain pens, or do you have other things? Yeah.
I love my pencils. I think
Mhm,
we all do in the watercolor world, but there are some papers that are not as good for pencils.
mhm,
Or some
mhm.
fountain pens. But I found really fun fountain pens and solutions that work on handmade paper for me. And if you're familiar, I have a bunch of journals here, sketchbooks. Sorry.
Mhm.
And one of them that does not favor pencils and a lot of other fountain pens is the one by Deep Deep Light. Remember
Yeah, I
the
love
one
it.
they had?
Mhm.
So this paper is really fun. But the pencil, I mean, you can sketch something, but you're not going to be able to erase it effectively.
Mhm.
And same goes with fountain pens. It's not very fountain pen friendly.
No. No, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
It is what it is. So I struggled with that. And then there was a sale. And I got a pen. It's my pen case.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's going to be for everyone because, for those who write, I've heard interesting things. But this is a company out of Italy called Piniter.
Mhm. Yeah.
And to be honest, I'd only buy this on sale because people have reported some sealing issues. My pen is fine,
Mhm.
but just in case. So this is a magnetic cap. But why I'm excited is this weird way of, um, the nib itself. It is lighter, so
Huh.
it touches much lighter. So I don't really have to press it into the paper that much,
Okay. Mhm.
and it works
On that paper.
on that
Interesting.
paper.
And the ink, do you have to use a special ink with that to so it doesn't bleed out or anything, or does any ink work?
My sketching inks, which I also have here, I have basically two or three that I use. My favorites are Diatramentus.
Yeah, those are great. Mhm.
I
Mhm.
mean, the way they flow, and again, if you use it in the pen like that, you really don't need to press in at all.
Yeah.
The worst I've encountered for permanent inks, and I really do not suggest people use it, is Mont Blanc.
Okay. Yeah. Mhm.
Their regular inks are incredible, but their permanent line is bad.
Okay. I've never tried them. I've never tried. I used, Detrimentus a lot, though. Yeah. Mhm, the
um,
doc
Let me share while I still have them here. My other one suggestion is I don't know if you've tried it. Don't remember the name of this one, but this is the Cloudy Day. So they both are by what's the name of them? I never have, the actual names, but Lemon Toolbar. There you go.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Lemon Toolbar. They have this permanent line. It's called the Atmospheric Ink.
Okay. They have
Very
beautiful
good.
ink, I know. Yeah.
So that's what works for me. I've tested a couple. I don't know what's your experience with inks.
I use the Detrimentus document ink a lot. I mix the black and brown together, and that's
Mm.
my favorite drawing, for drawing with a pen, with a fountain pen. M m you know, I don't draw with fountain pen that often. I've done it many times. I've gone through, like, months and months of using it only kind of thing, but in general, I draw with pencil.
Mm.
Um, I have a few I have what is it called? A Fuda nib?
Yeah. How's
That
that one? I
that
still don't
I
know.
like. I love it.
Oh,
I love
my
it
pen
just
friends are here.
vintage Omas ink.
Oh, he got
Black.
one. He
Mhm.
was very excited, but it's not good. No, it is good. Okay, thank you.
I have a friend who loves the Omas ink. But for my fountain pens, like for writing, which I write with them often, I like Pilot Iroshizuku ink. I have one color that I use only, and I use it in almost all of my pens. It's kind of boring, but it works for me. It's a beautiful gray. It's called Fuyu Syogan,
Mm,
Old Man Winter.
I like that translation too.
It's a
Old
really
man winter.
cool gray, and it's just beautiful. It's beautiful on every paper, and it's beautiful to draw with too. The only thing is that if you draw with it and then want to paint on top, it's gonna
Mm,
run right into your watercolor, so it's not great for that. So for that, if I'm gonna draw and then paint on top of it, I would use the, document ink. Yeah. And platinum carbon black is nice, but it's just too dark for me.
everyone uses that.
Yeah, it's a great
Mm,
ink. It's great ink, it's just too dark.
yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Bart, hello. So Bart is a fountain pen maker. He makes his own fountain pens, and his company name is Zodiac Pen Co.
Okay.
It's very nice. I met him in person in San Francisco. William is always here. Hello, hello. And oh, hi, Chris. That's a good question. Have
I
you?
have. I like it. I
I
have the
have
one
not.
I think it's called Taya, like a taupey color. It's beautiful.
I've been looking at their inks. They have those interesting olivey greens that
Mhm.
I've been interested in, but I
You
have
can
not.
you can mix them. You can buy, the other permanent ink that's super nice, but not for a fountain pen, for a dip pen, um,
Mm,
are the, I can't think of the name, that Kakimori.
yes.
Mhm.
I gifted one to my friend, and while you talk, I'll show you. She made this for me with it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
this is my dog.
Oh, yes.
And this is a heart.
It's a beautiful ink, and if you just buy the red, yellow, and blue, you can make any color. And the same with the Rohr and Klinger, sketch inks. You can just buy a few and mix them and just get really lovely hues. So, yeah, it's
Yeah.
good stuff. But that is great ink, and it doesn't bleed at all when you use it with watercolor.
Well, question, how many inks do you have?
Me? Not that many. I can show you. They're right there. They're all right there. Can you see them?
On top there? Yeah.
Well, I would say 90% of them are gray.
All right.
I
That's
have
a style.
I have a Lamy Blackberry, which I really love. I keep that inked in one of my Lamys all the time. I have, Pilot Iroshizuku Inaho, which is discontinued, but it's my all-time favorite ink, and it's like a bronzy yellow. And then I've got a Raven Black, um, and I've got a really deep red, and I've got a couple, like, greeny blues that are real kind of gray, green blue. That's it.
Nice. You're my
Mostly
kind of
gray ink.
person.
I love gray ink, and it sounds boring. I've done a YouTube video about gray ink. It is amazing how different they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many grays, and I don't know, it's my favorite color. Gray in general is my favorite color. I don't know what that says about me, but I like
Not
it.
really. I mean, there's so much more if you do kind of the swatching and just dipping it for a prolonged time into the water and then actually looking at chromatography. I think that's what it's called.
Mhm.
What went into composing it, you'll be surprised how many different colors come into
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know
and
flavor.
it's fun, you can see it. And on certain papers that I love, if I'm using Tomoe River paper, for instance, well, not so much anymore, but the older one, the gray inks would sometimes sheen in beautiful ways, and just kind of color shift a little bit. So you'd see one color when you press a little bit harder on your stroke and another color when it's lighter. I don't know what that's it's shading and it was shading and sheening. But the grays are just beautiful to me. I don't know. It's my favorite. I also
Mhm.
like I love the dark red I have. Well, actually I have two. I have one that's called Romania Red, and that is by uh who is that? Dominant Industry? Is that
All right. My guess would be, the Hungarian Romanian maker, but I guess not. I'll show you. It's one of my favorites, Pannonia.
I don't have any of theirs.
They're
No.
really fun. They're
Yeah.
really fun. Yeah, and they're from there, so that's why I thought maybe.
And I like, it's Dominant Industry, actually. It's called Romania Red, and then I have one, it's, Diamine, the, Oxblood.
Ooh, classics.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's just beautiful, really. I tried the Writer's Blood, I got a sample of it, and it was a little too purple for me, but I like the Oxblood. Yeah.
So the one I feel like might be a seasonal one for them. It's called the mulled wine. That is the one I like by them.
Mhm. They have beautiful ink. Yeah, yeah. For a while, I used years ago, I used their I think it was called just Burnt Sienna.
Mm.
Beautiful, 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 kind of like, Ancient Copper, but a little bit lighter. Ancient Copper is very pretty too.
How do you find lighter inks? I know
I
people
like
find them.
them. I
Yeah,
like
you like
them.
them?
Yeah, I do. I have a few really light gray ones. I've got one called Misty Lake. I don't remember the name of the company. I've got one, I think it's IWI. It's a Taiwanese ink, and it's called Dew or Cold Dew, and it's a really pale gray, kind of a silvery gray. I love them. When I'm using them, it's usually just for me on, like, kind of delicate paper, and I think it's beautiful. I'm not a big, dark color person
Mm.
for my inks, so I typically like things lighter. I would not write a letter with it. I mean, that's asking a lot for someone to read a whole letter. For my journals, the other thing is, if I am going to draw with it, you can layer, and
That's the
it
beauty. Yeah.
yeah, and it's lovely, so I like them. How about you?
Only for drawing. So
Mhm,
that was, I think, the. I don't own a lot of Ferris wheel press inks,
mhm,
but I think my first one I've ever bought from them
mhm,
was one of those. Looked beautiful in the swatch,
mhm.
not usable for me. It
Yeah,
was something rose, and it was really kind of old vintagey pink.
mhm. I know exactly what it's like a Lady Rose or something, yeah.
Lady Rose, there you go.
Mhm.
You're right. And it works beautiful if you sketch with it. Writing is a pain for me at least, and I think it was a little tiny bit smidge dry, so it wouldn't really work in all the nibs.
I am not a fan of their inks in general.
No.
I love the marketing. And they actually asked me to I was they sent me a bunch of stuff, and I was gonna try their ambassador program or whatever, and I just quit because I didn't have a whole lot of nice things to say. Their packaging is beautiful, but it's really hard to work with. Like,
Mhm.
you can't get a pen in the bottle. Um, I don't know. I haven't had really good luck with them.
For me, I have a couple of inks that I got on discounts, and then it turns out that they like using AI for some of their packaging. So I don't really,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
I don't really like supporting that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But also, I don't use a lot of shimmer, and
Mm,
they seem to be very heavy on that. So,
they are, and actually the Lennon Toolbar had an ink that I did purchase. It was it was like a year or 2 ago. It was like an impressionist line of inks that were based on, like, Monet paintings and stuff, and
mm,
the color looked so gorgeous, and I didn't even wanna buy it to use with a pen. I wanted to buy it to use in watercolor paintings. And it is beautiful that way. It just a little bit of shimmer that, like, flocculates together and goes in, like, little rivulets and stuff when you put a lot of water in it. But in a pen, it clogs in a day,
mm.
for me anyways, I don't know, but Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. I like the shimmer, but more to paint with.
Well, I was about to ask, how do you like the shimmering watercolors? Do
I
you use
love
them?
them. I love them. I need sparkle. I'm one of those people. I mean, my grandchildren love they know me by this. Some of them live far away. So anything that sparkles is okay with me. I have to have sparkles with me all the time. Um, I love in fact deep light sparkles were because of me. I begged them to do it. And they only have 3.
Mhm.
I begged them to make them. Um, I like my favorite watercolor maker that does sparkle is Julia Cowan, who is in Sweden. Her paints are really special because they're not like mica paints. They're like real paints, but they have a little bit. Oh, my grandkids are here.
Yay,
Ronnie and Freya.
hello.
Hi, Ronnie and Freya. They're actually vacationing in Florida right now. They got to see dolphins yesterday.
That's
Very
nice.
fun.
Mm.
So her paints like they're like really pigmented, real watercolors, but then they have bits of mica in them or larger particle sizes that sort of flocculate when you add a lot of
Mhm.
water. So you get really interesting results with them. And then of course, Lisi Linka are like
Mhm.
the ultimate, I think, but too expensive.
Never tried, but I've seen them around.
Mhm,
I've tried the Swedish makers paint. It was good. I
mhm.
don't have it anymore. I had so much paint at some point that I started downsizing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
because I needed to buy more pens, obviously.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, so I do like it. I don't use it, I use it for me, and I actually in my last exhibition, I have several paintings that I used, some shimmer in. I did a series of rocks and crystals, and some of the threads in the veins of the stones, I put shimmer, and people loved it. So,
It
I
makes
think we
sense.
I think we need sparkle.
We do.
Mhm.
On that note, 30 minutes in, I think is the time. We both
Okay.
think the pen that kind of, where did I put it? The pen that started it all. There you go. I found it. Where did I put it? So the moment I realized, and for some weird reason, I didn't realize that you liked fountain pens,
Mhm,
is when I saw your video
mhm.
that you made on this pen.
My favorite pen. Mhm. Yeah.
So yeah, and this pen is so beautiful and sparkly. Well, not sparkly, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Shimmer. It's hard to film.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, it is a
Reflect.
beautiful, elegant pen, but the thing is about this pen is it writes like heaven.
Mhm.
So do you have what nib size do you have?
I have a broad,
Okay,
which
I
I
have a
was
medium.
surprised by
Mhm,
because it really is a true broad for a Japanese pen.
mhm. I have a medium and it's the same. It's truly a medium. It's so juicy and it just flows. It goes through a lot of ink.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Okay.
care. It doesn't matter. It's like writing on clouds. It's my hand never gets tired with this pen. There's something really comfortable about this for my grip.
Mm-hmm.
This people either love or hate the clip.
Oh,
I
hate it. Mm-hmm.
I love it. It's my pen. I can write for hours with this pen.
And so the best part is that you can just buy this in a different size and just use it. And it's much cheaper than buying a new pen.
Yeah, I agree. I've only ever used 1 ink in this pen, the Pilot ink, and
Mm-hmm.
I get the cartridges, but then
Like,
I don't refill them all the time. I buy these so that I have them with me in case I need to switch, but I just take the cartridge out and refill it from a bottle,
oh, nice.
and yeah,
I prefer, do you own any sailor pens?
I do. Yeah.
So I think the Pilot converter is a little better, but I hate them all passionately, both
Yeah.
sailor and this one. And that's why I do the same. I opt for,
The cartridges are great because you just refill them,
Mhm.
with a syringe, and it's really economical.
Capacity is better.
Mhm, and then you can have the cartridges with you if you're traveling or whatever. So if you do need to switch, you can just use a new one.
Yeah.
It's fabulous, yeah. Yeah, no, but this pen, you know, sometimes I go through phases with my fountain pen. Sometimes I'll have 10 inked up. Sometimes I only have this one, but this one is always with me. This is a non-negotiable pen. So it is the Pilot Vanishing Point, if people don't know what this
Yeah,
is.
silver stripes.
It's called the Stripes, and it it really, it changed. I think it was one of a kind when it first came out, but it's the only fountain pen I have that you just click it and the nib appears and you unclick it and it disappears instead of having to unscrew it and recap it. So it stays, it's got this special mechanism that closes this trap door so the
Mm.
pen stays wet, doesn't dry out. It's pretty incredible, really.
So the one story I've heard about this design was that it was meant for those with disabilities. So
Mhm.
they have to use two hands,
Yeah.
which would make sense, I guess. I do admire it. I don't think a lot of other, companies have done something like that. They've attempted. I've seen stuff around.
Yeah.
Navaler has something. These
Yeah,
are
and there are knockoffs now that are pretty darn good. I mean, these are expensive pens. There's no,
Mhm.
I got a really special deal on it through in from a maker from a store in Japan. I couldn't have afforded to buy it here, right? It was just a really special deal at the time. But all of the vanishing points are expensive, no matter what level you enter at. But you can get them now. I mean, they have knockoffs now. They're not
Mhm.
exactly the same, but they're pretty great.
Jinhao.
Don't know.
And you can use, from what I've heard, this exactly same insert.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I don't know
So,
about the Pilot cartridges won't work in it.
mm.
I don't think so. It's a standard.
I mean, I think if you can use the insert from here and there, which is what I've heard. I don't
Mhm.
own one, but I've heard, which is the question is where they got exactly the same mold. But
Well, it
it's
is
a
a
different
question.
question.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, I don't think it hurts Pilot. I think you're either gonna want this or you're gonna it's not a 14 karat gold nib. It's not
Mhm.
it's a different experience, but it's the same convenience and mechanism. So,
Yeah.
and they write very well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the licensing is not something that lasts forever. It's
Right.
expired probably by now because these have been around for a very
Long
long time.
time. Yeah, a long time. Yeah, but I love the weight of it. I love the girth of it, everything. It's just yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect.
And you
Yeah.
know how sometimes you have those pens that are lined in the cap, and then if you are someone who posts your cap,
Mhm.
really back weighted.
Mhm.
But
Yep.
this one is balanced.
Perfectly. Yeah, I never have hand fatigue with that pen. Yeah. It's just I can write. I mean, I write longhand. When I write longhand first, and then I type it up later. That's my first editing process. And so I can write for 3 or 4 hours and not be tired. If I use a ballpoint pen, I would try to do that, my hand would be tired within half an hour.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
for long form writing, it's my pen for sure.
And just because I've mentioned this pen before,
Excuse
wherever
me.
I put it, um, the peniter, whatever I put it, that's how you know it's super early for me.
Mhm.
But if you remember the pen I was showing, it
Mhm.
was not really. Yeah, that's the problem with that pen. Whenever I'd be drawing or just writing with it for a while, I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna keep on drawing with it, I'll have to attach something to. And that's how I feel about a lot of pens. And for some people, it's not a problem. You
Mhm.
have to attach something, that makes your hand just feeling stable
Yeah,
for a long period of time.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and this is just the perfect width. I think they come the Decimos are a smaller version of this pen, but they're too narrow for me. I don't have the same comfort level that I have with this pen. I don't know. It's just I often felt guilty after I got this pen because I stopped using my other pens, and I felt really guilty about it. I have all these beautiful I mean, I don't have pens like you have, but I have about 20 fountain pens, mostly inexpensive fountain pens, but still, I felt guilty that I wasn't using them. But it's just it's almost like I had to kiss a lot of
Yeah, to get to the good one.
yeah, I wanna say kiss a lot of frogs, but really I like frogs better than princes, so I had to kiss a lot of princes to get to the frog.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
You're right.
and I have to show you this. This is my very favorite thing. This is my pen roll,
Oh,
and as a watercolorist, you're gonna love this. This is just the only Superior Labor product I own.
and you have more than I have then.
Yeah, I just because I typically don't love it. There's it's just not my aesthetic,
Very expensive.
and it is. This was for a leather I think it was $120, which is a lot,
Mhm.
but
Mm.
not like some other things. But this look at this.
Oh, you got a special one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't that cool?
Was
It
that a Japan special?
I don't know. I think it was. Yeah, I think
Mhm.
it was. Um, but look at that. It's got watercolor swatches, and that's
Mhm.
where my fountain pens live. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I know the book. I might even have it in my collection. Where the is from. Beautiful. Oh.
Really cool. So
All
I
right.
have
So what you have in there? Show us something.
what do I have? Okay, so I I love Kaweco Sports. I have 2. I have the brass, which I love. I love this pen. I always keep the same ink in it. It's a um, Diamine Safari, it's called. It's a green that's just really pretty in this pen. And then I have the anthracite. And
Mhm.
I don't know if they make this one anymore. This is the aluminum model. It's also a
Mhm.
really beautiful, beautiful pen. And I have my gray in here. But I learned about this one from Agnes in Latvia. She told me about this one and I got it. Love the color of this. So I have those 2. And then I have Yoseka Stationery. I'm a huge fan. And
No.
they've
Very
had
nice.
2 special sailor pens that I purchased. One of them, actually, this is the first one. It was the Refresh.
Was that their special, their collaboration pen?
Mhm.
Oh.
And it's just the color of it. It's my favorite color, and then it's got, like, peachy pink finial.
No.
It's so pretty, and it's got their logo on the top. And it's a Sailor Progear Slim, and I got the medium fine nib. It's, I mean, the basic, toothy Sailor. And then I got this one, which was a Sailor 5th year, it was a Shikiori 5th year anniversary pen, which is very similar in color, and it's also a medium fine, same kind of I don't even have these inked right now, but same scratchy Sailor nib,
Oh.
which I love. It's like, to me, a medium fine
And you can fix it if you don't like.
I like it. I feel like I'm writing with a pencil. It's perfect for me.
Yeah, I like that feedback a lot.
Yeah,
For
and
some
it's
people, they're like,
I kinda dig it. And then I've got this. This is, everybody knows this one. This is just
oh
a
yeah,
twisty, diamond mini.
diamond mini. Yeah,
What
that's my
great,
go-to on the go.
great pen. I mean, throw it in your bag, it's fine. I have ancient copper in here.
The capacity, it can write really well, and I think it even writes reverse, if
It
I'm
does.
not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Yeah, no,
What
this
do
is
you want? That's amazing for everything you can get from one pen.
yeah, it's a fabulous pen and a great capacity. I don't mind traveling with it. It's great. Really, really great. And what else then I have another Sailor. I actually really do like Sailors. This is the Autumn Rain in the Shikiori series.
Pretty.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This one was special because it has the 21K nib,
Ooh.
and it's a beautiful writer, actually. This is beautiful. And then I have another Sailor that's a big boy, the Pro Gear.
Mhm.
It's not the biggest boy, but it's a bigger boy, and this is a super comfortable pen. Also bought this through Japan, so it was a really good price. Not anymore.
Mm. Yeah.
We can't do that anymore. We don't
Yeah, we can talk about how how like that hobby of fountain pens has been it's not very accessible, let's put it that way, right? It is a writing luxury writing instrument hobby,
Mhm,
but
mhm.
it's gotten even more inaccessible recently. So
Yeah.
all of these pens like $100 more, I think, in the US at this point.
Yeah, it's not affordable anymore, but this
Mhm.
one, also has a 21K nib, and it is smooth as butter. It's lovely. I have a medium in this one, and the Sailor medium is like butter,
Yeah.
like butter. I'll just show you, and then I have a couple more Sailors, but I won't, that were gifts to me that are just exquisite, but I have 2, Pelicans.
Mhm.
This was my first, I would say, good fountain pen. It's just an, M100 or M200.
It looks like 400 possibly. Are
Oh,
they
it's not.
200 or 400?
It's a 200. Yeah.
It is a brown, dark brown one, right?
It's just a smoky quartz.
I have that one. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good
This is a great pen in the fine nib for drawing. It has got the
one.
most flexible nib of any pen I have. And I can write reverse and get very, very fine lines, and
Nice.
then turn it over, and with pressure, I get beautiful thicks and thins. This is an excellent drawing pen. I love it for drawing. And then I have the same pen, but in just a different color.
Hmm.
Same great nib. So that's what I have in here. Nothing overly crazy, but
It's
that's
exciting. You have a very good taste. So there's
they're,
that.
they're all very usable for me. But honestly, I this is the one that I use.
Hmm. That's your one.
Yeah.
Well,
She's
question: Do you have how do you choose your pens? Do you watch a lot of? Do you do research? Do you watch reviews? How is your process?
yeah, what I follow a few people on Instagram that share pens or even pen makers, and if I see something that catches my eye, or I'll just browse like Goulet pens or, Atlas or one, and just see in my price range what's available. I haven't bought a pen in a long, long, long time.
Mhm.
But, um, and then I'll go on YouTube, and I've got some favorite reviewers that I go to. And so I just see what they have to say. And, the only pen that I've ever purchased that I was really disappointed in was a Stipula pen.
Hmm.
I bought it after I sold my first book. I got my first book contract and got my first payment installment, and I said, "I'm buying myself a fountain pen." It was almost $200, and it was, I don't have it with me right here, but it was, like a sea glass kind of color with silver trim, and it had a stub nib,
Mhm.
and the pen just never worked well.
Mhm.
And that's the only pen that I didn't research. I bought it just because I loved the way it looked, and so I learned my lesson. I researched them for sure.
I don't want to generalize, but that has been a problem with Italian pens in general.
Really?
Yeah.
Really interesting. I mean, I know other people have stipulas, they love them.
Oh, I love them. I have
Yeah.
mine, but I
Mhm.
believe you because I've gotten some duds.
Mhm. But it's the only pen I've ever got that was a dud. I mean, I've been really lucky, I guess, but I've no, and I have a couple, like, Graily pens that I'll probably never have, but sometimes I'll just go on and search for people using those and watch them. Um,
Where are those pens? Because now I need to know.
oh, well, one of them is completely out of reach, but it's a Mont Blanc, but it's a tiny one. I think it's the Heritage line.
Ooh, well, so not this one. I have this one. That's one of the little ones.
It
Um,
might it's
well,
really
M.
tiny. It's called Bijou. I it's creamy white, and then it's got a
Oh,
red, like a
yeah,
red.
that's the recent one. Hmm.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that one is smaller than this one. This one is fun because you can, do this action.
Yeah, 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 no, it's just so beautiful to me, and I remember one time I saw Patti Smith, who is, like, my gold star, not my gold star, my North Star as far as writing and creativity go, but she was using one, and, I saw it and I thought, "Wow, that is a pen. It's beautiful." So I like that one, and the other one, which some people might laugh, but it's the, Pilot Is it the Pilot 823?
Mm. I mean, it is for so many people. Really.
Yeah, I think that pen could possibly replace my Vanishing Point because
Mhm.
I just heard it just writes and writes and writes forever, and there's
The
no
brown one, is that the one?
Mhm.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that one's
I
very.
I would actually get the smoke. I would get the gray.
Huh.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, makes sense. You
Yeah.
like gray inks.
Yeah, I like the gray one, but Scipio is amazing, well, the ones I own. Yeah, and
Yeah,
I think they are. I think I just got a dud, and I didn't know any about it.
I'll show you. I had one. I have one. I still have one, and I had a Nibmeister work on it. That's why I like pen shows.
That's
It's
a great idea, yeah.
yeah, and so she
Or
made it nicer. This was abroad, and she made it a italic stubby italic. I think that's what we landed on. And it was very sweet, and it works perfectly. So, but that's the problem, that's the Italian pens specifically problem. Pelicans rarely have any problems. I've
oh,
never heard of them.
pelicans are a dream. I wanna show you. I only have 1 nib that was worked on by someone, and it was a gift to me, and it's actually a sailor pen, and it was, I believe, a medium fine nib that was, worked on to make it into a, what do I wanna call it? I'm trying to find a sample of my writing with it because it's just so beautiful. It's a cursive italic,
Mhm.
and as a left-handed person, a lot of times, nibs like that don't work very well for us,
Mhm.
you know? This one is amazing. I'm just trying to find a writing sample with it. I thought for some reason, oh, yeah, okay. My handwriting is super messy, but do you see how
Nice. You have a nice handwriting.
look at see the this is the same ink as I use all the time, the Pilot,
Mhm.
but do you see how it's just kind of, dark and light and thick
Mhm.
and thin, and I love writing with this
I
pen.
like that. Yeah.
It's just especially on this Tomoe River paper. The old one, the new one, you can't use fountain pens.
That's what I've heard. I still haven't gotten any.
But I love it so much, I think we talked about this. I switched to ballpoint pen because I love that paper so much, and I have to say that what's amazing about it is that I've learned that I really like ballpoint pen.
Mm.
When you use ballpoint pen on Tomoe River paper, my other favorite notebook is Moleskine, which you can't use fountain pen on. There's a tactile quality to it that it almost feels like braille. Like when I open my notebook and I rest my hand down, I feel the texture of my words through this thin paper.
Mm.
Fountain pen doesn't do that.
Mm.
And there's something just incredibly satisfying about it. And I have fallen in love with ballpoint pen. And now I collect ballpoint pens.
Oh, some people will try and fight you on that. But yeah, no, I see that. And it's such a good point. I've never heard anyone making that point, which I really like.
It is. It's beautiful. Like on the moleskin, where's the moleskin? I can show you. So I use these big, thick, and I just go through them like crazy. But I pulled some out, and I mean, you can't. Of course, you can't see it, but you can feel it.
Hmm.
It's beautiful. And so on that paper and on the Tomoe River paper, it's like this. I don't know. I'm really into it. Yeah. Yeah. Is it no phone necessary for the new Tomoe? Yeah. For
So
for
I've heard.
people, you don't want it. It bleeds right through. It's terrible. And I was really disappointed because for my I love that paper, and I use a Hobonichi for my planner, a Hobonichi Weeks for years, since, like, 2015, and I always for a long time, I used just this little, Kakuno,
Yeah.
because I get to stick it in and not worry and take it anywhere to work or whatever, and this is an extra fine, so beautiful on that paper,
Mhm.
so beautiful. Now it writes like a medium. It's awful, and it just bleeds out and bleeds through. They gotta fix it.
I hope they did because it was such a big thing from what I've heard. Hobonichi was it last year
Yeah.
that really kind of well we saw it the most. I don't own any Hobonichi because that's the cult I don't want to get into.
I just buy the weeks, it's my book. I mean, I keep it in this. I've had this for a while, and it's in here, and I get the new little covers every now and this one's a few years old, but it's just perfect for me because of work. I use every inch of it, and I actually even use the back for journaling. I use every inch of this book.
Is this still the older paper or?
No, this is all ballpoint in here.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it's
You fixed it.
yeah, it feels so good. But it's just it's perfect for me, for my needs, and I mean, I use it as a planner. I have a pretty busy, unusual schedule, and it works for me. I have 3 different jobs, so I'm constantly juggling,
Mhm.
you know? So it's just, yeah, I love it for that. I haven't found anything else that I like more, and I love this tissue thin paper.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ooh, have you tried the onion skin?
Oh, yeah. Love it. Love it. In fact, I wish I would have thought about it. I have a book put away somewhere that I did on onion skin paper where I did drawings so I did pen and ink drawings, and each drawing, like when I would turn to the next page to draw something again, I would move it a little bit on the page. But when you folded it back, you could see the drawings through one another.
Mm.
Became something else entirely. I love that paper. And honestly, ballpoint on that paper is out of this world.
Oh, wow. I'll
You can
have to
draw
try.
with it. I mean, ballpoint for drawing is incredible.
Well,
Incredible.
because it's based, I think oil based, isn't it? The ink. So it
Mhm.
dries pretty much instantly. Yeah. It's a
And
good.
it's shades. You can get very, very delicate, pale colors and then really, really dark. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I love it for drawing. But yeah, so I still use my fountain pens, mostly my Pilot pen for my journal writing, things like that. But and for my daily work, I'm pretty much a ballpoint girl now.
No.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, let me show you some fun stuff too. Since we've been talking about, the cult. That's my cult contribution over here. Travelers.
Oh, I love them. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Did you see the last episode when I was telling the story of them being confused that I don't have an account with them? The travelers. They've never encountered a person who has not an account with them
Oh, no.
when I was buying. It was so funny.
Oh, I
So
love
yeah,
them. You have the red one.
I have the red one.
Oh,
Highly recommended.
it is so bad.
It is so good. I think they're coming back with it.
Oh, good. Yeah, I
So
wanted
you'll be able to get it.
it.
And
This is mine. I've had it for
oh,
13 years. Yeah.
nice. Oh, looks so good. And I feel like that's a very, you know how their leathers can be different? I think this is very similar to what you have.
Mhm.
It looks so good. I've had it for a few months now, and it's just, yeah, it's just held up so very well. This is a different type. This is kind of sweaty. It's like very nice feeling, tactile feeling, but I'm not gonna bring it out of the house, and some leather is that way. And
Mhm.
but have you tried Paper Republic?
Oh, yeah. Love, 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 love. Yeah. I When I first got mine, I got the chestnut one, and when I first
I
got
think
it,
that's the
I
same. Yeah.
couldn't stop smelling it. I w I
Good.
just walk up to my desk and go, you know,
Love that.
amazing, and their paper is beautiful.
Watercolor paper.
Yeah.
I think I'm like, why did I bring this watercolor? So I'm currently testing watercolor that they've produced for this guy
Mhm.
and this guy. I have a feeling they do not disclose which company they're using. I think it's Henmue.
Pentamelia, yeah,
Think
mhm. I would think so, yeah.
so it's very interesting, very different. I would say they both are good-ish, but this feels like whatever they use for travelers. I have in here.
Yeah.
One of my colors, one of my recent colors that I produced,
Mm,
feels much more studio paper,
okay.
and whatever they have in here, much more professional paper,
Mhm.
if I might say so.
The Paper Republic paper in general is very high quality, I think. Yeah. I haven't had any trouble with fountain pens or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, that was I was very surprised because I don't, I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah. It's just the only thing is it's hard to come by now with the tariffs. Forget.
Um, Top drawer carries them.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I
I'm
just
writing
found
that
out the other day.
okay. I didn't know that.
So, and
'Cause
they
I don't even
just,
think about these things anymore because it's just
not only that, but you know what? I was like, I felt stupid because this was literally my last buy from Europe before tariffs. And I
Mhm.
bought it because I was like, well, I'll buy it because they can, do my initials. Top drawer does that too.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, I love mine, and, it's actually in my other bag, but it's gorgeous, gorgeous, and I don't they make one with pockets. I don't have that one.
Hmm.
I have just the plain one without the pockets in it, but
They have a trifold. That's their latest one.
mm,
So I just went to Top Drawer the other day and they just had restocked the regular ones, the one I have.
mhm,
And they also brought in the pockets one, but they do not have the trifold. The pockets are really good and it's very sturdy.
mhm. Yeah, I just have the one, but I love it. I really love it. It smells so good. And I love their marketing too. I love the interviews they do with people and they show their books, and I just love to look inside other people's notebooks. I just love it. So, to see what they do. Yeah.
They actually, so I put my this guy on the story because I made a little charm for it.
Mm.
So I put them on my stories and I tagged them, and they're very sweet. They actually responded, and not a lot of companies do that. I
Nope,
very
that's
much
true.
appreciate.
That's true. Yeah.
Let's see, what else did I want to talk about? Oh, paper, more paper.
Mhm.
Want to see some paper?
Yeah.
So watercolor paper. Do you know of the shadow light binding sketchbooks?
I don't know.
So it's Stefania. She's Italian
Yes, I have
in
a
New
couple
York.
of them.
Yeah.
Mhm,
So I
mhm,
love her stuff because she has so many different. She used to do calligraphy papers. I don't
mhm.
think she does it anymore.
I have one with Fabriano paper, and I have one with Arches hot press that I use for drawing.
Ooh. Now this is the Amalfi that I yet have to start on. What an
Mhm,
interesting paper. I don't.
mhm.
It is so interesting. I still don't know how I feel about it.
I my last exhibition, I almost used exclusively Amalfi paper, except for a series of rocks I did on Yupo paper, but I almost exclusively I love that paper. But you can't overwork it.
Hmm. Yeah, you
Mm-mm.
can't.
No, it rips up pretty good, and you can't use, masking fluid on it.
Hmm.
Um, you can't erase something, it doesn't like that, but it's so I get the ivory pink.
Hmm.
Oh my god. It's so beautiful, and I love the décolletés.
Oh. Ooh, so for pen people who don't know about the Amalfi paper, you're in for a treat.
Mm,
So it's from a mill in Italy that has been in operation since 14 something, I think.
yep.
So many hundreds of years. And it just, and I think that's sometimes when you use papers like that, that's what you have to take into account,
Mhm. They
The
have many
yes.
different kinds, and they have, they have some that are just for writing, but I find that they're also very good for art, that their writing
Mhm.
papers are perfectly fine. And then they also have an artist line, but they're also great for pen. So it's just exquisite paper, and they come in many different formats. They have sketchbooks, They have big sheets. One of my favorite discoveries from them is when a friend and I put a large order in together, and then we were just kind of split it up, and she sent my half to me. They wrapped the order in this gorgeous, we call it envelope paper. I don't know why we ended up calling it that, but it's just their paper. It's handmade paper that they use for packing. They make their own packing paper, and this paper is just diaphanous and textured, and it's so beautiful for watercolor. So, so beautiful. So you have to ask them for their packing paper. We ended up buying some from them. We bought like 20 sheets and split it between the 2 of us. I thought we were crazy.
All right. So another Italian paper. And that's the thing. I'm going to show it to you. You might be a little surprised unless you watch my YouTube shorts. Made in Italy, made for Mont Blanc.
Uh-huh.
I think it's not great. And that's what, like, I wonder where in Italy are they making it?
Oh, who knows? I
So
don't
this is
know.
Mont Blanc Great Gatsby
Uh-huh.
notebook. Very mediocre at best paper. And then look at this. But this is not a fault of a place that I bought it from.
Mhm.
But this is a replacement for this. Do you see a difference?
Well, just that one, no.
So,
Oh, okay.
and this is just a punch through hole.
Okay.
And that's a Mont Blanc $80 book.
Wow. Wow. And the paper's not good. Hmm.
Paper is very mediocre. I use it in some of my videos. Just to kind of, it's so mediocre. I think your printing paper out of your printer is about the same,
Wow.
to be honest. And I actually should send you some sample to try. I'll rip a page for you. But
Wow.
it's such a disappointment because
Mhm.
this whole thing is made in Italy. It
Mhm.
really is, like their covers are beautiful. They're gorgeous. They work great. I didn't pay the
Test
full
their
price for
paper?
it. Hmm?
Do they not test their paper? I mean, that's crazy.
Well, the whole thing was a little odd for me because how do you even package this if you look through? Like, this is just a hole. There is
Mhm.
nothing in it. I can see paper through it.
Mm.
And that was a shocking thing for me.
Mm.
Talking about paper and quality and, whatnot.
I Yeah. I For fountain pens, I mean, I used to love the Tomoe River paper, but I like them. Oh, and I never say it right. Nemosine?
Nemesine, is that a stone something? No, that's a different.
No, but it's beautiful. Do you say Fabriano? Yeah, Fabriano, yeah. Fabriano paper's gorgeous. That's what I use for my watercolors, for my just standard botanicals and birds and stuff. Yeah, it's great. And you can use a hot press paper with fountain pen beautifully. It's
Mhm.
expensive though.
So, William, is that the Fabriano books, notebooks? I think he's thinking about that, not
Oh,
the one.
notebooks? They have notebooks. Yeah, they're nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. They might or might not. I have never used them for fountain pen.
I like the MD paper for fountain pen. I
Yes.
really like it. Yeah, I love the color of it. I've never had, I mean, even with really dark ink, it's beautiful. Never bleeds through, never feathers. It's hard to
Yeah.
beat. Yeah.
This
Lies.
is what they use in Travelers, I think, as well.
It
So,
is. Yeah, for most of them. For most of them. Another one that is really nice, but I don't know what's going to happen with future because they used um, they used Tomoe River paper in this book were the books from Baumkuchen in
oh,
California. They have a grid notebook that was
mhm.
gorgeous, beautiful, and it fit inside the traveler's notebook. And but it was Tomoe River paper.
Mm.
I don't know what they'll do when they run out of their supply.
Oh my, I have to buy. It's been on my wish list for a while, and I'm just like, Well, if I'm buying from them, I'll have to buy more.
I
Keep
love
dodging that.
I use these a lot in my notebooks. It's their dashboards. This is MD paper.
How is it? I've been looking
Oh,
at.
these are fabulous. I mean, I put them in so you can see on the side of my notebooks that there's these tabs. So at the beginning of every, yeah, MD is a really beautiful paper. So where the tabs are is where I start my weeks, and I just tip a dashboard into there,
Mm,
and then I use it in my schedule. It's
I have
fabulous.
to get it. Oh God, I have to get my order in October then.
It's really nice. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful paper. And of course, I mean, I've been using moleskins since I mean, in college, basically,
Mhm.
a long, long time, and terrible for fountain pens.
Yeah.
Notoriously terrible. But there's something about this paper that I'll never get over. And
Mm.
I have to use them. I so I just use it with ballpoint pen, and it's so delicious. I don't know what it is. Uh,
I'm having a little bit better luck with Leuchtturm, so that's what I use these days.
yeah, their paper's great for fountain pen. I don't I just don't like the paper. I There's nothing wrong with it. It's really good paper. It just doesn't feel I'm kind of funny. I don't know. Yeah, it's I
He
don't
has missed out, but you have tried it.
I have, yeah. I love the onion skin paper. It's pricey, the books are I can't remember the name of the company. Is it called the Onion Skin Journal Company or
Journal, I think so. It with the snake.
yeah, the
Yeah.
Ouroboros on it. Yeah, I have tried it. I used a whole one up, and it is incredible. I love it. Yeah. I love I don't like bleeding through.
Hmm.
I love ghosting. I love to be able to see through a paper like that. I just think it's beautiful,
So what
especially
I've discovered that if you buy older paper from up until 70s included, a lot
Mhm.
of the paper is fountain pen friendly.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah, because well, they had to be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
they
Ooh,
had to be.
and so I wanted to ask you because most of my pens, not all of them, but a lot of them are thrifted and
Mhm.
secondhand. Have you ever considered secondhand, especially with tariffs?
No, I mean, I'm just not in the market to buy pens. I'm just not buy I haven't bought pens in a long time, except for ballpoints, which are usually only a few bucks each. But, I do have one vintage pen, and it was a gift to me. It's a Mont Blanc, but it's a ballpoint,
Mm.
and
Works for you now.
it's beautiful. I love it. It's really nice to write with, and the only thing about it is you have to use their refills.
Mm.
It won't use a standard ballpoint
Ah,
refill.
that's Mont
However
Blanc.
However, I will say their refills are that their ink is wonderful. It's that very traditional, sticky, oily like, when you write with a ballpoint pen, you can feel the pen kissing the paper. It's, like,
Mm.
sticky, you know? And the Mont Blanc ink is like that, and it has a so when you write with a ballpoint pen and most papers and light hits your paper, it's prismatic. The oil reflects the light and it's shimmery.
Mm.
And the Mont Blanc is particularly shimmery. It's really beautiful. So I'm not unhappy with it that I have to use their refills. And they're not terribly expensive. They're expensive, but not crazy. I'm not like buying one of their pens, but try Life Paper's version of onion skin. I don't know that.
Mm.
I had a Life notebook. I really liked it. I will look for that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
love paper.
on the point of Mont Blanc, so the one weird discovery I made, because I wanted to buy something for my husband. We were married for 5 years. I was like, wait, do I get, I have to get something nice. And he has, Lamy fountain pens, but he
Mhm,
doesn't really, he's not ready for a big juicy one.
mhm,
So I opted to get him a document marker from Mont Blanc that they
mhm.
no longer produce them. And that's, I think, is an interesting thing about Mont Blanc. They don't longer produce that document marker, but they continue on producing the refills for it,
Mhm.
which I really appreciate. So I
Mhm.
gifted him that document marker that I was able to find vintage, and he's in love with it. So that specific, they only make two colors for highlighter.
Mhm.
And in academia, the way he uses it and the frequency with which he uses it, it has held up beautifully.
Really?
Not
Nice.
only you, it just looks professional the way Mont Blanc stuff
Mhm.
looks,
Mhm.
but the usability of it is what he was just amazed by. Not only that, I had two of his colleagues who I'm also friends with ask me to get them one. It
Interesting.
just
I don't
it's just apparently is superior in its the way it
huh.
function in that
Yeah,
specific.
well, the ballpoint is phenomenal. I mean, it twists open and closed, and, ballpoint ink doesn't dry out anyways. I mean, it just doesn't. You can leave a Bic pen uncapped forever, and I actually
Mm,
love Bic pens too. But the yeah, I'm very impressed with it, and there's something really beautiful about just the design of Mont Blanc in general.
yeah,
It's so classic and beautiful. The lines are beautiful. Um, the emblem is beautiful.
I have
It's
to check
yeah.
this. Now I have the old one, so I have the 80s one with the ebonite feed. That's
Mm,
which
yeah.
you can buy them secondhand for a nice, not too expensive amount. I mean, they're still gonna be, it's Mont Blanc. And this is my treasure,
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Bordeaux,
Yeah.
and that is 18 karat.
Mm,
And this one was ground for me into, what is it, needlepoint.
mhm. What
So,
ink do you have in there?
whatever Anna Bolde Nibmeister put in there to test it out, I still
Mhm.
have it. It's, I think, diamine is what she uses. One of those very sheeny diamine.
Mhm. I saw your video on the Cartier inks, and that burgundy looked amazing.
Yes.
Are you using that?
Not burgundy, but this is the black. Very good. Yes. So my thing is that whenever I feel like the fountain pen might not be able to handle some heavier inks, as far as testing, Cartier inks are pretty safe.
Mhm. That yeah, it seemed like that's what you were saying. Yeah, kinda like a yeah.
Yeah. So I like them. I actually am just very disappointed they've never made the green.
Oh.
I don't know about you, but like whenever I think about them, it's their use of emerald in their jewelry
Mhm.
is what I think of, and I just think it's a missed opportunity there. They should have got it
Interesting, yeah, I
with
wouldn't
a
think
green.
yeah. I always think of the Trinity ring.
Hmm.
I think of Cartier, and for years and years, I wore their perfume. Can't
Oh.
afford it anymore, but, it's beautiful. It's really, really pretty. I still have a teeny little bit.
My engagement, sorry, not engagement. My actual ring is Cartier too.
Mhm.
So, uh,
Remember the
something I didn't.
one that was it was like, 3 it was like, platinum, white gold, and gold, or rose I don't know, 3 different colors of gold,
Hmm.
and the rings were all interconnected, and so it just moved along your finger.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think they called it the Trinity ring, I think, or Infinity ring, or I don't know, but it was very famous in the '80s when I was, of marrying age.
I wonder if the emeralds, I know they used them somewhere in the beginning of the 20th century, some of the historic pieces. And that's what I'm thinking. So the 90s is when I saw the most commercials, probably watching,
Mhm.
the kid just and teen just watching whatever I was watching. And I wonder if that was a on brand for them then. And that's what I'm thinking of it, because
Mhm.
I'm sure they've changed throughout the
I
time.
I'm not real familiar with them anymore, but I didn't even know they had fountain pens and ink. I had no idea, but when I saw your video, that the burgundy really caught my eye. I thought that was
Oh.
I like those really rich reds. I'm not a red person at all in any way, shape, or form, but deep, like, garnet red or I love that. I
Well,
have
hello, Agnes.
white gold, pink gold, and gold gold. Yeah. Hello, Agnes. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, I always thought that was a beautiful ring. Mhm.
Yeah, I just love that. Yeah, she says it was the Trinity.
The
Mhm.
Trinity. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
They are pretty amazing. I think the Cartier, the speculation was that there was a suspicion that Cartier and Montblanc were somehow collaborating on making fountain pens.
Oh,
It
okay.
was, yeah, some sort of, because they were under the same umbrella, I think, for a while, a luxury umbrella of some sort.
Mhm.
So there was speculation that maybe at some point in the 90s, Montblanc was making nibs.
For Cartier.
Yeah. But we don't know for sure.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're great pens, those Mont Blanc, but yeah, I don't have a huge desire. I mean, except for that one tiny one, just because it's so tiny, it looks like a little jewel. That red,
Oh,
you
I
know?
don't I don't have that one, but I think I have one with its nib. Ah, so I have this Egyptomania.
Oh, I've heard of that one. Yeah.
And the tiny one that you want has exactly the same sort of
Oh,
folded nib. It's good.
yeah.
I prefer vintage Mont Blancs. So
Mhm.
something that was produced, and by vintage, I mean 10, 15 years ago, probably was a bit of a better quality, in
Mhm.
my personal opinion.
Mhm.
But their modern take on these vintage nibs, that's the one I would still get. So I would say very good choice.
Mhm. Yeah, it will probably never happen. That's okay. I'm okay with it.
You never know. You
I'm
never
okay with
know.
it.
Listen, what else did I want to talk? I wanted to talk a little bit of watercolors because, I never talk about that. And I was so excited to just have you on for that.
Mhm.
So you've been working with Deep Deep Light
Yeah.
and you're friends with my friend Christina.
Mhm.
So those are two of your tops.
Those are yeah, I would say those are my tops. I mean, so there's a time and place for handmade paints for me and for traditional mass-produced paints. I also really love Winsor& Newton watercolors. I've used them for a very long time. They are my comfort zone as far as if I'm making a more representational painting of a bird or a botanical painting or something like that. I will choose those. They're also really great to teach with because they're available all over the world, and, most people can afford the pans. They last a very long time, and they also make a student grade, which are kind of interchangeable. So, I can't expect my students to all have handmade paints.
Mhm.
So I mostly teach with Winsor& Newton watercolors, I love them. But for my own, like, dreamy watercolor practice, I'm actually writing about this right now for my Substack this weekend, and there is something really remarkable about when you connect with a maker and like Christina or Agnes and Dana, where, you're on the same kind of level philosophically and those kinds of things, and you know the amount of care and intention they put into their work, and when you receive them, they have this sweet energy that I know that sounds woo woo, but
Mm.
it's just true. I haven't used a tremendous amount of handmade paints, but from the ones I've used, those 2 makers really do it for me. The other thing is they come up with these unique colors that Winsor& Newton's never going to have, so
Mhm.
the colors, the mixes that they make, and even some of the single pigments like Christina. I just got a set of her earth pigment paints, a couple weeks ago, and she sources these things all over the world on her travels and her research. They are amazing. They're just
Mm.
utterly amazing. Now, when I'm painting with these, it's very intuitive. Sometimes I'm just swatching. Sometimes I'm just putting a puddle of water on the paper and dropping in these pigments and just watching what happens when they meet each other. It's magical. But it also means that my work at the end is not just mine, right? It's a mix of even before it reaches Christina's hands or Deep Deep Light's hands. It's been a product of sometimes millions of years of sun and soil and rain,
Mhm.
and they use these special pigments, and then their hands make this material, and this material comes to me, and then my hand gets to pay attention to them and find beauty in them, and then the result is this really rich thing. Does that make sense? I know it
Yeah,
sounds
it
kinda
does.
but it is really, really special, and I have a lot of handmade paints because it's my job. I'm a professional artist, I'm a teacher. I get sent a lot of things, right?
Mhm.
And so if I had to buy these all with my own money, I wouldn't have them all. They're expensive.
Mhm.
But the thing is that they're really not that much more expensive. I mean, but paint is expensive. So you don't need to have a lot. But what you can do is I wish we could show the Deep Deep Light website right now because go, they have a hand-painted color chart that you can download onto your computer.
Mhm.
I can't even tell you often I just open it and dream it and look at it. It's so beautiful. But you could spend weeks and weeks just looking at these color charts or whatever they have to offer. Just pick 3. Pick 3 colors that just light you up when you see them. And I will tell you, having 3 paints like that and a beautiful piece of paper and a beautiful brush will bring you endless amounts of joy, right? More so than a big thing of 24 mass-produced Cotman paints. There's something just really magical about them.
Mhm.
And so that's my thing about paint. There's a place for both in my world, but those handmade paints are very, very special. And I would love to try yours. I haven't tried your paints. So
Yes, I think you will.
yeah, but I mean, I've tried a few, and I also love Julia Callan. I like her paints. There's been some makers that have been remarkable, but they're no longer in business.
Ah, it's been very sad, hasn't it?
Yeah,
So many went out of business.
and even now with the tariffs, people are going out of business because let's
Mhm.
be honest, the best art supplies are not made in America.
No.
That's the
I
truth.
mean, but that's the thing, whenever, and I've had these arguments when people come to me and they're like, well, we'll always have Daniel Smith. Sure, but what does Daniel Smith gets their pigments from? Do you
Exactly.
think gum arabic comes from the US? It
Yeah.
doesn't. We
Most of
have
the
to
pigments
import.
do not. I would say 90% do not come from the United States or more.
Yeah.
So it's gonna go down the line. It's gonna affect it in many different ways. But
I
I mean,
mean, the world is global. We all kind of depend on each other. That's just
yeah,
a fact. It's
that's
just.
just a fact. Yeah, it's just
Mhm.
a fact. And we're making it very difficult. But so it's just yeah, paint is I just if people see the price of handmade paints and they get sticker shock and they don't
Mhm.
want to invest in it, but you don't need 20. You know, pick 3 and then in 6 months, if they have a sale or something, pick another one and just sort of build your collection up. And, it's just, I don't know,
Well,
magical.
let me explain that from a maker's point of view. I'm reaching for my paint. All right, you guys. Some of you might have seen this. So this is an old set, no longer in production, but this was my La Dolce Vita, so my Roman kind of inspiration. All of these are just the old pigments I sourced. I made this only once, and it's not going to exist anymore.
Mhm,
So this is my own archive. This is my current set. This is I use for myself, but this was inspired by an early mermaid movie.
mm,
My husband's grandmother's aunt was a mermaid and the siren in it, and it was a silent movie, so she wasn't an actress, she was an actual swimmer.
mhm,
But we have this gorgeous set of pictures of her on the set, and I was like, this is incredible.
mm,
What other way of, like, honoring my grandmother-in-law who just passed away a few months ago, by just making a set about her favorite aunt that inspired her. So that's what I did. Again, small makers. That's
mhm.
that's our inspiration, as you said. And then this one is inspired by Venice,
Oh,
Venice in the fall specifically.
can I point out something about your paint that's very special is that you also make
I
the
do. Yeah. my little porcelain. A lot of times I work in porcelain.
Mhm.
So,
And then when they're empty, I mean, I have a set through Christina, and when they emptied, I just refill them with tube paint.
and that's exactly why I'm making them this way, because you can send them to me so I can refill them for you,
True, I didn't think about that.
or you can use them as you wish. And I think, that's my inspiration from the olden times. Again, how they used to have those exactly the same looking as our plastic little
Mhm.
pens. But up until 40s, they had all of those in porcelain.
That's right. Yeah.
And it was so much easier. And they used to just plop the paint, in there. So you would go to the store and you buy a cake, paint cake, plop it in there.
Mhm.
So, and it was so much more ecologically, I guess, just conscious, environmentally friendly.
Mhm.
When I was starting up my little, venture, that was me thinking. And if you remember, they used to do those 3D printed pans.
I
And
have a set from the 1800s. Mhm.
but like when we came back to that thinking, should we be ecologically kind of more conscious? A lot of makers started doing the 3D printed, which I didn't like. I don't
Mhm.
know if you have. The ridges are odd. It's
Mhm.
hard to recycle the 3D printed pans because not every state would have the recycling facilities for them.
Mhm.
So I decided, I'm going to go with the porcelain and clay instead. And I'm, sidetracking here largely, but what I wanted to say that this set, and for a lot of handmaking makers like myself, it takes 6 weeks, 2 months, to make something like this.
Mhm.
And we have no near, capacity of a big factory.
Mm-mm.
It's just us and our hands, and we're just working it. And that's why
Your
it
materials are
costs the way it
expensive.
does.
Yeah, your materials are expensive also. I mean, pigment is expensive, and now it's gonna be even more expensive. So, I
Yeah.
mean, it's just yeah, no, it is, there I can't even remember the first time I used a handmade paint. I mean, I think it was Christina. I think she had made, like, ultramarine blue, and maybe there were, like, 3 colors that she made, and she sent them to me, and there was just such a difference,
Hmm.
such a difference. And it hasn't been that many years, right, that we've been having the handmade paints available to us. But, yeah, if you haven't tried them,
Hmm.
even if you don't consider yourself an artist, but you're like my friend Barb, who wants to paint but doesn't wanna learn how, I'm just telling you, start collecting handmade paints and just swatch them on beautiful paper, and that's all you need.
Yeah.
It's just yeah.
That's the therapy. I mean,
It's
that's
therapy.
what it is.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and I think exactly how you said, you don't need a lot. Like what I tell people, you need 5 sets.
yeah. Yeah. It
Right.
you can do so much with a limited palette. I mean, that's my whole claim to fame. That's how I got started as a teacher. I taught for Craft C and the great courses, and I taught the limited palette.
Mhm.
That's and a limited palette doesn't have to be, red, yellow, blue, 2 warm and cool of each. You could have a limited palette of any color, right? You can pick and choose your colors that appeal to you, and you can make a whole painting just by
Mhm.
mixing and as long as you've got some that are light and some that are dark, you're okay. So,
And you can do it seasonally too. You can just pick whatever is good for you for that season. And that's what I do. So the little set that I had on with Christina's paint mostly, and one of them was mine by Chad. Do you have Chad's? Um,
I do.
you do. I love this was my favorite material. Every time he would use a different one. So this little one is pipe stone by me, and everything else is Christina. And so this is my summer, spring type of thing, and I just
You
carry it
switch
with
it out. Yeah, then you can switch your colors when you need to. Yeah.
me. And you don't need a lot. That's what I'm saying. Like I know I make, stuff. I'm back at making stuff pretty often, much more frequently than I used to in the beginning of the year. But again, you don't need to, you don't need to buy into FOMO.
No, no,
Get,
that's true.
what you want.
It's true. And we all get into that sometimes, but I rarely buy that. I got some of Christina's paints a few weeks ago. That's the first time I've bought paint in over a year for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure you have a lot of
I
pain
do. I,
point.
you know, I do. And because I'm a deep light ambassador, they send me paint, and
Oh,
it's a great thing, but they wouldn't let me buy paint from them.
I'm
I mean,
sorry.
I've tried, trust me.
Yeah.
They won't let me. So, it's, I don't need to buy a lot, but I still see things and still get enticed by things, but I have to say, no, 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 no. So let's see. Chris said, Marina, do you have a shop
I
address?
do. I'm
Yep.
on Etsy. So it's, same thing. Studio Aquamarino. You can go on my Instagram, see the everything there. And also here on YouTube. I believe I put my information. Also, your information is in the description. My information is up when you go on the profile itself. You'll see more about me.
Mhm.
Yes, I do. I do. And I was about to say, my thing about Deep Light, I really appreciate that they still do, having so many customers, as many as they do, they keep on hiring people
Yeah.
to keep on making paint, which I think is so important, by hand, instead of, buying a machine.
Mhm.
And as someone who makes by hand, and I see these labels all the time, handmade, handmade, handmade. And then you look closely and you realize it's not really handmade. It's machine made for the most part, right? It's mixed by hand maybe in the beginning, but then you kind of run it through the machine. And it's, we don't have like strict, I guess, set ways of like
Yeah.
doing things. It's not something that we are not regulated by anyone really, right?
Right.
When we make paint. So anyone can say anything. But that's another thing that I appreciate when I make paint. I'm pretty much certain what kind of stuff I put in it, right? No fillers. Where is the origin of my pigment? A lot of times I bring it from Florence and, other places like that in my travels. And that's not what I can say about some of the bigger makers.
Yeah. And even some of the bigger makers, like Winsor Newton has actually, I would say in the past 5 years, I've been noticing that they're slipping in. I need to drop things for the chat. Oh, bye, Kim.
Oh,
Thanks.
bye, Kim. Have a good day.
I'm gonna have to pretty soon too because I've got another Zoom today. But I uh, I've noticed that Winsor Newton over the past so many years has started to replace like real earth pigments with mixtures.
Mm.
And it has changed the quality and the hue of the paint. So for instance, raw sienna, super important color for watercolorists,
Yeah.
especially landscape artists, because it is the only yellowish color that won't make green when it's blue. So you can use it in a sky to show light or sunrise or sunset in the sky. And it's not going to turn green when it hits your blue, right, in the
Hmm.
sky. Well, Winsor Newton, it's PBR whatever it is. It's PBR08 or something. And Winsor Newton used to use real raw sienna. Now they're making it and it has yellow pigment in it. So their raw sienna won't do that in skies anymore. And I've noticed it with like the last 2 batches that I purchased. So I gotta find a new one. But it's the mass produced paints are slowly changing. You know, Daniel Smith had a whole other big scandal
Which
because
we know about. Yep.
yeah, the Primatech paints where they're calling them made after certain
We
and don't even have those pigments in them. They're still beautiful. I mean,
They
it's
have
not
synthetic stuff in there, which is
yeah,
premium quality from what I understand. But when a researcher called them out for not having actual branding, said they had, the stones in them,
they
right? The
didn't. Yeah.
gemstones, but it didn't at
Mhm.
all.
They're still beautiful. They're gorgeous, but it's just like you can't, I don't know. But with smaller makers, and especially people that you trust and you get to know them and you see what they're doing and you're watching their process and you know that you're getting beautiful things. So yeah, I just highly recommend for people to try
Yeah.
for people to try. And I think, I've noticed in, like, in-person workshops and things that I've given, when people see them and they see these beautiful colors and textures and things that handmade paints offer, they're just not as intimidated. They just wanna sit and play with them on paper and watch what they do.
Mhm.
I had a lesson a couple weeks ago on my Patreon where that's what we did. We played with a paint and just kind of mushed it around on the paper and made it darker in some places and dropped more water in other places. And then when it dried, we just drew on top of it and it was beautiful. So it's just I don't know. I think it elevates our practice to have the handmade materials.
Yeah. All right, you guys, if anyone has any last questions, this would be the moment because you have to run soon, from what I know.
Yeah, I gotta I've got a Zoom for my Patreon folks today.
Oh, so someone's here, they're gonna get a double dose of you.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, if they come, yeah.
Aw.
We do that once a month at least, and it's nice.
I've been musing, that idea of having a Patreon for a while. I think it's probably very rewarding
It
just
is
both of you.
yeah, it's the best thing I do. I have a mentorship on there.
I will.
I will. Um, I have a mentorship on there where I meet privately with some, people at certain tiers and stuff. That's been incredibly rewarding to
Mhm.
really work closely with one person at a time. But in general, my Patreon has become a family. They're just an amazing community. And so I think that's the gift of Patreon is that you really I don't know what it is about it, but, and I don't know if it exists for everyone there, because Christina's is the same, right?
Mhm.
It's
I've
it's
been a part of it for a while,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really special, and I mean, yeah, I can't imagine not having it. So I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're
Well,
great people to work with. I'm an ambassador for Patreon, and so I go to their special meetings once a month, and I'm one of the first people that gets to weigh in on decisions and new things that they're offering, and, the people that run Patreon are wonderful people. They're really good people.
alright, I'll have to get in touch with you about my decision on that.
Yeah, yeah, I'll be glad to help because it is really I mean, it allowed me to quit working 3 different secretarial jobs.
Mm,
I mean, it
that's
was
nice. Yeah.
yeah, it allowed me to really make money, actually. Not I mean, not tremendous amount, but enough to quit the
Mhm. To feel
Mhm.
like you can do
Mhm.
your
It's
passion.
weird. You have to keep
Yeah.
up with it, and you have to nurture it, but, um, I can't imagine not having it. The people are remarkable. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. It's been wonderful. It's welcome to everyone who is just joining my YouTube now.
Yeah,
Thank you. And if you're going to be watching this on replay, please drop us a comment. And if you have any questions, I'm going to pass it on to Kateri and we might do this again.
I would love it. I would love it. Yeah, I really appreciate you all coming, and, it's been a pleasure. It's always fun to talk about these things with someone who's like-minded, so it's a lot of fun.
And we
Yeah.
still have not covered it all.
No, we have
So
not.
much more.
Yeah, it's all good stuff.
All right, you guys have wonderful whatever time of the day it is. And oh, yes. Bye from Austria. Love that. Good night.
Good night.
All right. Bye.
Bye.